We regret fighting to keep Nigeria one. Leader of Nnpaid Civil War veteran Babawande. Welcome to the news, and please subscribe to our channel. A lot of things are happening now, and a lot of people are seeing now as the right time to speak up. 75-year-old Corporal Philip Babawande, retired, tells Olufemi Olaniyi his experience during the Nigeria-Biafra Civil War and plight of some ex-soldiers who fought on the side of federal government but have not been receiving pensions for the past 44 years. When did you join the army? He replied, I joined the Nigerian Army in February 1968. I left in December 1978. I spent 10 years, but any soldier who fought in the war was given 2.5 years. That is a bonus, and it is added onto your years of service. That is why the number of years I spent is put about 13 years. Did you fight during the Nigerian Civil War? He replied, yes, I fought. I started my battle experience in Asaba, which is the present-day Delta State capital. I ended it in Onitsha. Were you conscripted into the army? He replied, I joined the army voluntarily. I went the first time, but I was rejected based on my stature. I went again to Abeokuta when it was a depot, and I was eventually selected in February 1968. I did 3 months training, and immediately after the training, we were deployed to the war front. The war started in 1967, and after the 3-month training, we were sent to the war front. Where was the first place you were deployed? He replied, I was deployed in Asaba. Can you remember the name of your commander then? It has been a long time. I cannot remember his name. But one of our officers then was the former military governor of Oyo State, Major General Oladayo Popola, retired. At the time, we were under General David Jemibiwo. What rank was General Popola then? He replied, he just graduated from the Nigerian Defense Academy. He was a second lieutenant then. As a fresher from the NDA, we were together at Asaba. Did you have any near-death experience during the war? He replied, I had many, but I can never forget one experience in Asaba. We went for an attack where I was almost killed, but God saved my life in a miraculous way. We were going into the rebels' area in a single line formation, and I was the 5th person from the front. We did not know that we were very close to where Biafran soldiers had planted landmines. Whenever I remember now, I still thank God for saving me. It was a divine intervention, and I owe God gratitude for that forever. Some of my pieces of ammunition fell, and I just left the rank and started picking them. As I stepped aside to pick the ammunition, some of my colleagues had passed me, and by the time I finished picking them, about 20 soldiers had passed, so I was now number 20-something. We did not know that the Biafran soldiers had planted landmines where we were and had laid ambush for us, and were watching us from their hideout. We were the ones going to their stronghold to meet them, so it was easy for them to prepare to attack us. The wire with which to ignite the mines were buried under the ground. Immediately I joined the ramp back. I had terrible explosions, and my colleagues were torn into pieces. I could have been one of them if not for God's intervention. God orchestrated how my pieces of ammunition fell, and I stepped out of the rank to pick them back. The explosions were followed by heavy shooting, and we had many casualties that day. God spared my life. Although as soldiers we also fought back, but we lost quite a number of our colleagues that day. Which other place were you deployed after Asaba? He replied, we were deployed in Onitsha. We were there in October 1968. Lots of people died during the war, but God saved me. After those experiences, and you have not been paid your pensions for the past 44 years, do you regret fighting in the war? The only regret I have is that we're not being paid our pension, and that is quite unfortunate. Did you gain anything from fighting on the side of Nigeria? He replied, I did not make any gains in terms of money, but I gained experience. I might not have traveled to the east, but fighting during the war gave me that opportunity. During our time, promotion was so rare. I was in the rank of corporal for 9 years. I served under the military police after the war. Would you have preferred that the Biafrans succeeded in breaking away with the way you are being treated now? No, not at all, he replied. My anger will not graduate to that level. I never regretted that Nigeria won the war. I also don't have any regret fighting on the side of Nigeria because I fought to defend the dignity of my country. Nigeria is my fatherland and I have no regret at all. Were there promises made to you then by the Nigerian government? He replied, there were no promises made to us. You said you were a berry boy while in the army. Yes, he was a major then, although I was not directly under him. Some of my colleagues served under him, and that is why I've kept saying that Buhari is not aware of our plight. I am sure if he is aware of what is being done to us, he will take steps to redress it because he knows what it is to fight a war. We are living in poverty and we are supposed to be receiving pensions every month like others, but we are still praying to God that we won't die without collecting our entitlement. They have deprived us of our right for the past 44 years. They have denied us our pensions for so many years, and the irony of it is that they said we are not qualified because we didn't spend up to 15 years in service. It was Decree 102 they used against us. This Decree 102 was not supposed to be used against us because they didn't use it against the damn rebels, the Biafran soldiers who fought against Nigeria. The Biafran soldiers were paid in batches, and they have all been paid to the last kobo. The last batch was paid last year, about 112 of them. How old were you when you joined the Nigerian army? He replied, I was around 21 years old then. Many of us were in our early 20s, and we all enlisted in the Nigerian army. I fought for a period of 10 years and more. When the government depopulated the Nigerian workforce, some of us crossed to various places like the police, customs, immigrations, schools, and other places where we continued with our lives. When did you start this agitation for the payment of pensions? He replied, we have been on this agitation since, but it was renewed in 2002. In 2007, there was a biometric capturing, and out of those of us who were captured, few people were paid, and those who were paid have now been collecting their pensions since then. Why were they paid and some of you were not paid? He replied, they were paid because they paid those who spent 15 years and above in the army. Did you challenge this? He replied, we were in court for several years. We had many adjournments, and Femi Falana's son has been our lawyer. But in 2015, they said we should settle out of court. They called us to do another verification in 2015. Then, we were issued with a biometric data paper where they wrote genuine pensioners. Since then, we have been waiting to receive our pensions, but all to no avail. This is very sad. On this note, we have come to the end of the news. We say thank you for tuning in to listen. Until I come your way next time, enjoy the rest of your day.